What's going on, everybody? Charles Darty back here, aka Sir Charles, doing the mock-up of the depth finder installation. As I told you last time, or in the intro video, Hobie makes things really simple to install depth finders, accessories between the H rails and actually all the pre-drilled holes here, they call these little grommets. You can actually pull these bad boys out to run your wiring for your depth finder and your transducer, whether it's a Garmin, a Humminbird, or Lowrance. But there's also a lot of different places you can install your depth finder. Personal preference. For the last 3 years, this has been my personal preference. I actually saw a guy the other day that had a shorter version of the H rail and mounted it across these two plates here. It had like dual Garmin live scopes, whatever they're called. It was rad. It was crazy cool. But I've been using the Helix 10 for a few years now. Love it. And I'll just kind of show you the way I mount it, and maybe it'll work for you. But check it out. So what I'll do is I'll mock up the bracket. So I use the factory bracket, and honestly, I just try my best when mounting it to get it as close to me as possible. I'm obviously a big guy. But also at a good angle where I can reach it, and at the same time, an angle where I don't have to put any more additional holes into my kayak and just utilize that mounting bracket. So the way I do that is I already pre-pulled this bad boy out, but I'll buzz it back in for the sake of the video. As you can see, this is the second screw in closest to the camera. I'll take this out and take my mounting bracket and just line it up to an angle that I feel is going to be right for me. Now, I've already pre-done this for the video, but essentially I'm going to take this unit and have it on that bracket and put it in a position again where I can reach it within reason, and where I can view it and easily flip through the settings and mark waypoints and things like that. So I put that bracket here on a pretty steep angle. It's pretty accessible, but one of the things, and the main reason why I like putting it on this mounting plate here is I don't have to take it on and off. It's very similar to a bass boat. When you pop that bad boy in the front of the bow, you're not leaning it over every time you load your boat. It's stuck on there. The same thing behind the in the console in the cockpit. That depth finder is there. It's not moving. It's not bouncing all around. So for transporting, it may sound super lazy like my wife says, but for transporting purposes, this is where I like it, and this is where I like to keep my depth finder. So I'm just going to take this screw that came out originally and put it back down in there just to hold it in place. Then I'll take an 1/8 inch drill bit and just put some pilot holes. Again, I did this already for sake of the video, so you don't sit here and watch me drill holes, which is not really entertaining and kind of awkward. What I do then next is Hobie makes a fun little pack of mounting screws and nuts and things like that, and I order one of those every year just so I have extra screws for mounting stuff onto my pro anglers. Also, they're aluminum or aluminium, as my dad likes to call it. What up, Dad? So they're not going to rust easily. Just buzz those right in there, and now you can see it's really starting to take shape of where we're going to put this bad boy. So pretty secure on this side. The one thing I do is I replace this screw with a little bit longer version, thread version. Not that I'm drilling a giant hole into the kayak, because I'm not. The hole's already there. So I'll just use it just to seal it down, seat it down there just a little bit more. And then I have one over here as well, and I just have that one in there for good measure. So the bracket's mounted. As you can see, this bad boy ain't going nowhere. And I'll save you the boringness, but that accessory mounting screw nut kit that Hobie makes. Also comes with nuts with Loctite. So I'll sit here and I'll just kind of, you know, hand tighten those on and then use a wrench to get them on there. So you have support from the top, obviously, in the bottom, and that bracket's really sealed on there pretty good. But again, I'm not going to sit here and do every single one because that's super boring. I've been watching enough YouTube videos to know now. It's like, all right, dude, speed it up. Let's rock and roll here. I just want to learn. So now I'm going to take my my unit here and need to wash it. Clean up that screen, bro. I'm just gonna, let's see, wiggle it just a little bit. Let's make this a little bigger. All right, now that bad boy is in there, and it ain't going nowhere, which is awesome. You know, I run I have a trailer for this, and I also throw it in the back of my truck for longer trips. So knowing this isn't really going anywhere, I love it. The next thing I'm going to do is I run a heading sensor. You see any of the bigger names in kayak fishing? Christine Fisher, Jay Wallen, AJ McWhorter, what up McNugget? These guys, you know, when I first went out to the I call it, you know, the Midwest to fish, you know, some of these bigger tournaments, they're all running heading sensors, and I really didn't know why. Being a Jersey guy, we fish out of like puddles. You know, you're looking at some are 3, 4, 5 foot deep, and ledge fishing and offshore fishing really isn't a thing. Well, as I started fishing bigger bodies of water, I realized how important it was to make sure I'm locking into waypoints and doing it correctly. So it's cool. Hobie has a little pre-drill hole in this little pocket here. So I run my line through there, and eventually I'll run it through these pre-drilled grommets, and I'll show you that eventually. But for the sake of this, and I just take 2 threaded screws that, I'll be honest with you, I bought a bunch of screws. I didn't know what size they were. I was like, I'll try these out. So far, it's working out pretty good. So if you're unmechanically engineered like me, give this a whirl. But pretty much, I took the screw and I'm like, okay, that bad boy is big enough to go through. So, you know, I just kind of line this up here real quick. Again, you know, you don't need to sit here and watch me screw anything. It's weird. And then I'll put 2 in and just make sure that it's snugged up there right next to that bracket. It's pointing straight at the bow, and man, we're ready to rock and roll. So I'll throw in another one just to make sure it's secure. Again, these don't go into the kayak, so I don't have to worry really about, you know, damaging my hull. Hope you enjoyed that section of it. I'm really gonna get into the wiring stuff soon. It takes a long time. Again, not electrician, engineer, fellow guy, but I hope this helps. And you know, honestly, this really is one of the coolest places to put that those units, especially the bigger ones like this 10-inch one here. So looking forward to keeping the project going. Hopefully you like it. Keep watching, and tune in next time. Thanks.